Greetings, board members. We have a board meeting coming up on Monday, July 12th at 6 o'clock in the high school library. And just a few different things to go over. Hopefully this will answer a lot of your questions before we get to the board meeting. These first few items are regular items that we talk about. In the administrative report, I just want to make your attention to an item in my part of the report is the Troy School District Safe Return to School and Continuity of Services Plan. This is a required plan that we have to post on our website by the Office of Public Instruction in order to receive our COVID funds that we are receiving. So I would encourage you to look through that. There wasn't a lot that we had to do. It was a template form that we have. We have done a lot of those things because we have adopted the 1900 series policies. And so that made it much easier to work with and get ready for that. So that's being submitted to OPI this coming week. A few other items that we want to talk about. You can see the different hiring that we have. We have a list of bus stops where students have to cross the roadway. And that's a new law that we have that we're having to follow. Anytime a student has to go in front of the bus, across the street, and then get onto the bus, we have to have that approved by the board. And I've just listed out how many we have on each of the routes that we have. And there are quite a few. And this stems from the accident that was so tragic over in Kalispell, where the little girl was hit by a driver on the oncoming traffic. And we just want to make sure that the board is aware of that. We have a couple months to approve it, but we wanted to jump on it now while we have some time. We wanted to recommend to the board to approve a STEM club. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. We want to start up a club to promote that a little bit more. We also have a property and liability insurance proposal. And I'll go to this briefly because it's gone up. The price has gone up. And it has an outline of what the coverage is on page 7. And it used to be about $46,000, $46,000 for our premiums. And it's gone up considerably because their underwriters have also increased the cost. And then they've had some big claims across the state. And so unfortunately, it's gone up. We've seen it go up every single year. We were able to lock it in for 3 years before this. So we didn't see any increase for the past 3 years. And I think that's another reason why we're seeing a little bit of a jump here. So you can read through this document if you want to, but this is the main area of the coverage that they provide. The next one is the alternate project delivery resolution. So we want to put a bid out using our COVID money to restructure and remodel our HVAC system, our heating, ventilation, air conditioning, our heating system, basically. And in order to do that, we want to do it a little bit differently than we normally would. Normally, we'd hire an engineering firm to come in and create a design for us. And then we would take that design and put it out for anyone who wanted to bid on it. This one, we're doing it a little bit differently. Libby's doing it the same way. This wording was developed through our attorneys. It's called a design project program. And that's why it's a little bit different, the alternate process. And this is the request for qualifications. This is a design build process where people will come in, they'll give us the design. They will see what we need based upon what they provide, their services that they provide, and their assessment of what the school needs. And they will provide a design and propose some kind of a project phase for us. So when we get these different proposals, they're going to be all a little bit different. It's not going to be like the normal one where we have a specific design and everything is apples to apples. This is going to be a little bit different based upon what each company's assessment is of what our needs are. It's going to be, I think, a lot more effective when we're looking at changing out our entire heating system. And you can read through that. Again, this is a little bit different. We haven't gone through this type of process before, but I think it's going to be for the benefit of the district. We have some United Club account changes, some name changes, and just some minor things. But since it's a fiscal product, the board is required to act on that. We have some changes in our athletic passes. We want to make these different changes for this upcoming school year. This is based upon the recommendation of administration and our activities director also. So we'd like to make some of those changes, make it a little bit more effective for everyone. The next thing is the Trojan Horse Athletic Program. This is a program that we want to implement to encourage students and student athletes to be more engaged in our athletic programs, get them a little bit more involved in the out of season activities that we have. Libby has a similar program. It's called the Green Chain Program, but they get recognized for going above and beyond. And we're just trying to find ways to encourage our students to be a little bit more involved and really get more developed for our athletic programs. We have our handbooks here, our student handbook, staff handbook, extracurricular handbook, and coaches and advisor handbook. And I went through and I updated all these handbooks based upon the policies that were adopted over the course of the year. And so there's quite a few changes, but again, a lot of these are specific to the laws that have been incorporated during this past legislative session, and in the policies, including the policies, these first reading policies and these second reading policies and the policies that we're able to do this past spring. And so please look through them. Usually I've provided a summary of all the handbook changes, but because of it's a legislative year, there are quite a few more changes. And so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. These first reading of policies, they just came out this past week. That's one reason why the board packet's coming out a little bit later than I wanted it to. You can read through these policies. I just wanted to go over two different policies, the 3311 policy, which seems to be a policy that we talk about pretty regularly. But you have some options to choose as a board how you deal with a student who has a firearm on school grounds. And this has been a big talking point across the state, just firearms on campus in general, because of some of the changes in the law that affect higher education. But as you're looking at this, make sure you're coming with some ideas of what direction you want to go. I would recommend that we just keep it the same as we have been doing. Anytime a student brings a firearm onto campus, it goes to the Board of Trustees. That's what option one is. Option three leaves this policy up to the superintendent or the administration to do that. I think it's such a serious thing. If a student does bring a firearm, that we should continue on with the process that we have been doing. The next one is 3510, and this is specific to two different items. The first one is a student who is a homeschool student. This outlines what they have to do in order to participate in our extracurricular activities. Again, that's a new law that's been in effect this spring and allows students who are homeschooled to participate in our athletic programs. It's a common thing among the United States to allow homeschool students to participate in athletic programs and activities. This outlines how we're going to be following that. We do expect some more guidance from our high school association on the direction we take with that, but that outlines how we're going to be following it. Here's a District 2. The high school association might get a little bit more specific. And then this is one that the board has been talking about, the designation of athletic teams, about males, men and boys being on a specific team based upon their biological sex, females, women, and girls, and co-ed or mixed. One thing that was kind of confusing to me was that this additional sentence down here, where this policy is void 21 days after the date the United States Secretary of Education files a written report with the proper committees of the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate due to the enforcement of Chapter 405. That specific wording out of the law that was signed by Governor Gianforte. And so there's not that much we can do with that. We can see what else, what other information is going to be coming out about that, but that's why that wording is in there. We can discuss that a little bit more with the attorney when they come to our board training, and we can go from there. But those seem to be the two main items in this policy. And with these other policies too, you can read through and see what other items that you might want to discuss or you might have questions about. The second reading of policies, these policies are ones that were just gone over last month. And so hopefully there are no other additional questions on those. But again, if you do, let me know. We have a few different items of discussion. The first one is a track design. We have a community member who's been great in working with various fundraising groups in getting some funds together. This is an engineering design of what a five-lane track would look like. And we want to get your thoughts and opinions on some of these different ideas because we're going to be sending it to them for a final layout on the direction we want to go. And then we have to start fundraising after that. And a track is I think it's going to be anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000. And we have to also keep in mind that there's regular upkeep and then there's a resurfacing after 10 or 15 years. So we're still getting some more information on the direction we want to go with that, but this is what it would look like. And it does change some things up in the overall plan of the elementary school. The next is some adult education ideas. We want to get some ideas. I didn't go to the right one. We want to get some additional ideas of what you guys would like to see as representatives of the Troy community on other adult education classes that we could be offering and getting people into our schools and getting them some additional skills to help them in their own personal improvement. This teacher cultural awareness and travel program, this is an idea that we've had to get teachers exposed to some other cultures, some other communities, to see some things that they might not normally be able to do. This would provide program expenses for 2 to 3 teachers every summer to go and experience something in another country, in another area, get some hands-on learning. And they would be paying for their own flights, but we would cover the cost of the program. And it might be a good opportunity for them to just get a little bit more background knowledge and information on some of the subject areas that they are teaching. And then the last one is our strategic plan. This is the plan that we've been going off of for the past 3 years as far as the areas that we really wanted to focus on as a district. And so we want to get your feedback as a board on additional goals that we want to change up and what we really want to focus on as a district. So I encourage you to review that and then come with some notes that you have that you'd like to see change in here in the direction that you'd like to see the community go in the future. So if you do have any questions, please let me know on any of these items on the board agenda. I know it's a lot. Usually we don't have as many things in the July agenda, but this will help us free up some time in the August agenda that also can be kind of lengthy. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Appreciate it. And thank you. And we'll see you on Monday.